this has got to be my absolute favorite episode of SAO period. Like, I could not. There was absolutely no dry eye with me the entirety of this episode. And just a trip down memory lane for Kirito that was a complete nightmare for him. Like, oh man. And then seeing Yuki. I knew that shit was that was gonna come. That was gonna happen. I knew it. Like, when Visaga was about to end up just start killing everybody until he wakes up, and just not understanding, but really getting his motives of why he finds so much joy in getting to Kirito and desperation to get to him was just like you're finally seeing his reasons. But I cannot understand him. Like, he's just a literal psychopath, and just to see like Yuki giving Asuna like wings, pretty much, and just to like, she's like, I can't stand, and then you see the moment you see the hand, you're like, oh god, it's Yuki. Like, oh, man, just to see that, and everybody cheering on Asuna, saying that like you can do it because he was about to kill somebody from the underworlds, and then she's not gonna have it. Like, what was I being on the floor for? Because like it seemed like he wasn't going to kill the underworld people, and he just was. And then Yuki gives her a push. You see Yuki like 3 or 4 times. Each time I started bawling my eyes out, and the fight was amazing. It had the same treatment that Berkuli and Vecta had, which was just phenomenal, and like just seeing her flip around with the wings and such, and gosh, seeing Yuki again was just and see her using Mother's Rosario was just so good. Oh man. But then after that, like, you see her on the floor looking at Kirito while all the other players are rushing to like kill off people, and she's just looking at Kirito, and he's looking at her, like reaching for her kind of, and oh man. And then everything that happened with Kirito, seeing all the shit that he's gone through, and the moment that I saw the backs of Sachi and her guild and her friends, I'm like, this episode's gonna be something. Like, seeing that, and like seeing Kirito walking around aimlessly in his dream in this nightmare sequence was just so sad. And like, what was cool is that we saw like silhouettes of like Alice and Yujiro like in the real world, like in his dream, which was so interesting to see. And man, hold on a second. I think I cried so much in the episode where it's not coming out a lot, but like my voice is still shaky because of just like those memories. And man, this was a good episode. Well, first of all, let's talk about Kirito's like whole memory thing. when you're really like seeing all these like trips down memory lane and all this nightmarish nostalgia that transpired with Kirito. And then like what I thought was kind of cool is that like when he walked by this building and then the screen popped up with like the first shot of SAO from season 1 with the horse on the cliff, and then like that endless horizon look to it was just phenomenal, and I loved it, and it was so good. And then you're continuing to see these nightmare sequences with like Kirito reliving all these horrible memories, but he needs to go through this shit to wake up. And just to see that, and like seeing like Higa being like, Kirito, what's going on? What are you doing? You're gonna wake up. It's like Kirito's trying his hardest to force himself to not remember, and that is just so unbelievably sad, you know? And it's like I'm talking about like a real freaking person, man. Like it, like just to see all those memories that start off with Sachi and her guild, reliving them all being killed off, and then like one of his friends before that, like the beta tester that was killed from the first floor boss, seeing that, and then seeing the whole thing with Sachi and everything, and then the guild that Sachi was in, like the leader was saying that like, what the hell, like just saying it like to Kirito, just like, you're a beater, how could you do this shit, like we hate you or whatever. And then he kills himself, and then like just to see all the crap that Kirito has gone through and all the burdens that he has had to carry is like, and him finally breaking, ripping open his own chest, trying to like just get rid of all these memories. Like he doesn't want to relive this shit, and seeing him cry like that, like, and then seeing Yujiro, a piece of his memory or fragment of his memory was in the sword, but also like, it's in your heart, Kirito. The memories that we've had are in your heart. And just to see Asuna there, and then Sinon, and then Suga, man, that was just. This is why I despise or hate when people say that like his character's trash and whatever. I absolutely hate it when people say that, because like it's like they didn't want to really delve deep in understanding what his character has had to deal with and what he's been burdened with this entire time, and then finally seeing him break in this episode, like in his memories, in his dream sequence, like nightmare sequence, was just I couldn't stop crying. I think I said this in the beginning of the video. I couldn't stop crying this entire time, from like the fighting sequence with Asuna and Po, and then seeing Yuki like 3 or 4 times constantly popping up to give Asuna some strength to fight, and then she uses Mother's Rosario and everybody chanting "You can do it" to her, and she put so many holes in Po, and he was still alive for some reason. It was like very, very ominous and creepy and such. And then seeing Kirito reliving all of his memories to get him back, and which seems so torturous, and then Yujiro coming in, and Higa seeing that one like thing that pops up in his on his laptop with like Sugu, Sinon, and Asuna, and then this one like Fluctlight for some reason like pops up, or like some fragment of a Fluctlight like pops up, and it's it's Yu-Gi-Oh in the blue rose sword, and then they're all saying, "Just get up." Ah, man. Again, it's like I'm talking about like a real person, man. Oh man, so and then after that, he uses the perfect sacred arts, enhanced armament with the blue rose sword, and traps all of the people, not just like you got Poe. He traps Poe and every single one of them. And Poe knows that, like, okay, he's waking up and everything, and like just to see him be able to use that because of Yu-Gi-Oh, like together they both like really. It seemed like both of them together like released the enhanced armament and whatnot, and like just to see the perfect, like he perfectly used it and everything was just beautiful. It was just amazing. And then hearing the Swordland theme, like the I think it was Swordland, and like when Asuna was fighting Poe, it was like Swordland combined with the ALO theme. I don't remember exactly what, but that combination, and like just to see Asuna with angel wings was just freaking beautiful. And like it was just emotional all around, nostalgia, like nightmarish memory roller coaster of an episode, with an amazing fight with Poe and Asuna, and then Kirito waking up and using the blue rose swords, like enhanced armament, and like protecting Asuna and Rani and Catalina, I believe her name is, and just to see that. And like what I love so much is that she's like, Asuna's like, "Welcome back, Kirito," and he's like, "I'm back, Asuna." Like that's the first thing he does when he wakes up. Like honestly, it's unbelievably weird if people like ship him with somebody else or Asuna with somebody else. It's honestly very strange and weird to me. Like, and I cannot understand it. Like, all she was thinking about is Kirito, and the moment he wakes up, he says her name. Like, it was amazing. It was beautiful. My favorite episode of SAO, period. Like the awakening and him like going through all those memories and everything. Like again, like that's why I don't like, or I despise when people just say that he's just a trash character, because he just doesn't show exactly like everything, like emotion wise and whatnot or whatever, and they don't want to like understand the things that he had to do. Like he had to kill people to protect others, and he's had that, and the amount of losses that he's had, and the amount of burdens that he has had to carry throughout this entirety of this series. This is why I love storytelling, man. Storytelling that gets you so much in the heart, where characters just they cling to your heart and your emotions like cholesterol, you know. But like, that's what I love about storytelling, man. You talk about these characters like they're right next to you, like they're real to you, and so much so that you cry for these characters and you root for these characters, and you're excited so much for these characters. And that's what I love about storytelling, man. That's what I love SAO about too. And the ending with Kirito saying, "I'm back, Asuna," was just icing on the cake for him coming back, and it was beautiful. I loved it. But I loved it. Every single part of this episode was unbelievably amazing. But yeah, that is it for this review. of SAO War of Underworld, Alicization War of Underworld, Part 2, Episode 18, Memories. And it was an absolute trip down memory lane, nightmare edition, and it got me real good the entire time. Like, so many callbacks to so many arcs, and it was amazing. But again, that is it for this episode review. What do you guys think about this episode? Leave down in the comments your thoughts about what I said and everything. And if you liked anything I had to say, leave down in the comments if you agree with things I said, if you loved the episode. And like this video if you did. Liked if you liked anything I had to say. Liked it if you liked the latest episode, episode 18, Memories and everything. And subscribe to this channel for more reviews, vlogs, unboxings, live reactions, and theory discussion videos and things like that. So gentlemen, stay classy. Ladies, stay sassy. But most importantly, everybody, you gotta stay a little nasty, alright? So peace and love. And I will see you all later in the next video. Peace out. May the force be with you always. And plus ultra and latom. And welcome back, Kirito. Welcome back.